Good evening. You're welcome to another edition of Import-Export Platform Facebook Live from 3 Impest Trade Academy. We'll continue our conversation we started this morning, having concluded the starting and managing export business. We started discussing the fact that Nigerian states are billionaires in US dollars. And I'm asserting that and saying that categorically, the Nigerian states are not just potential billionaires in US dollars, they are billionaires in US dollars. As a matter of fact, they see the money every day as they walk up and down across the state. The money is everywhere, but the state is unable to pay salary. Can you imagine? Much food is in the tillage of the poor. Can you imagine that a state like my second adopted state, Jigawa State, is unable to pay salary? Can you beat that? Can you beat that? How do you explain the fact that a state like Jigawa is unable to pay salary in this country? How on earth could that happen? But that is really happening. And it's happening because of the way some of these governors have just run those states. Some of them, they ran the state aground. And a number of them come in without any plan. Any plan, we've just developed a system that threw away our worst to lead us. Most of them come in without developing any plan on how to salvage the situation of the state. No plan. No plan. So how does the state survive? How does the state survive? But you know what? What we have decided to do is we're going to spend the next 3 weeks discussing what we believe Nigerian state can do to be able to generate enough resources. Don't tell me Nigerian states are not viable. Nigerian states are viable. Nigerian states are viable. What we've not just done, sorry, I'm trying to fetch some website that I'm going to be using this evening to be able to share my thoughts on why I feel Nigerian states are billionaires in dollars. Nigerian state, Atlas Media. I'm sorry. Okay. .mit. Okay. I was trying to get something. Nigerian states are billionaires in dollars. And the reason why I said this is because Nigerian states have everything it needs to be billionaires in dollars. Nigerian state is potentially, some believe it's billionaires in dollars, but I say Nigerian states are really and truly billionaires in dollars. What we've not just done is to take advantage of those opportunities. And my thought on this is very simple. My thought on this is that all Nigerian states need to do is to begin to see how to make money from export business. The Nigeria is currently in a state of economic downturn. There is so much being said about the need to remove subsidy. I think we should be subsidizing production, not subsidizing consumption. But Nigeria, everything is always the other way around. The more you look, the less you see. And we are subsidizing consumption. So I'm for the idea of subsidizing production, not subsidizing consumption. Some say, oh, the masses will suffer it. But if you subsidize production and we are able to create more jobs, the masses we are going to have enough money to be able to pay for those things. Rather than subsidizing consumption, and then we are just allowing some people to milk the economy and just enjoying while other people are suffering. This is primarily due to the fact that states are mainly focused on allocation due to them from the federal government. The fact that, in fact, I think the worst thing that happened to Nigerian state is the fact that Nigerian state depend on Abuja. The fact that Nigerian state depend on Abuja to be able to determine its sustenance. And that's why some states also in Nigeria have been toothless bulldog. They really cannot do much because if they misbehave, they can withhold their allocation and then the state will be run aground because they don't have money. So they can even sometimes confront the federal government and go against federal government policy on some issues and do what they think is right, putting the federal government to do what is right because they depend on the federal government for their sustenance. Because a phone call from Aso Rock can make a minister to say the state will not get its allocation the way it happened to Lagos State. So some state governor cannot really do much. It's so unfortunate. It's so unfortunate. I'm sure if a lot of states are independent of Abuja, they will do so many things and call the bluff of Abuja. They will call the bluff of Abuja, but they are unable to call the bluff of Abuja because Abuja is the one feeding. And that's what someone call it feeding bottle federalism. Abuja is the one feeding and providing all that a whole state needs to survive. Can you beat that? Can you beat that? All that a whole state needs to survive is being determined from Abuja. That is too bad. Too bad. Too bad. A lot of states in Nigeria are owing salaries and unable to pay simply because of the over-dependence on a source of sustenance. And we are saying, Nigerian state, I say with all sense of responsibility, that Nigerian state are very, very much viable. Nigerian state can become very much independent of Abuja. Nigerian state can become very much independent of Abuja. So what should the state begin to look at? The state should begin to look inward. The state should not look at people to tax. Oh, the state should look at how to create business opportunities, job opportunities, exporting of products to make the state to become more viable. To make the state to become more viable. I will be using some data I'm getting from budget. These are some that we have worked upon on a Greek. I will also be using some data that we have obtained from different sources actually to be able to show how Nigerian state can actually become independent. And I mean totally, entirely, and completely independent of Abuja. Totally, entirely, and completely independent of Abuja. How can a whole state depend on just money coming from Abuja alone for their sustenance? The day they are not able to get that money, they will not be able to pay salary. And what's the excuse they will give their citizens? We are unable to get money from Abuja. And when you check the budget of this state, the budget are in billions of naira. I don't even have issue with the billions of naira budget that they have. I don't have issue with it. I have issue with the fact that they are not making adequate plan to ensure that those budgets are well funded. Some of them depend on loan. So for example now, I'm looking at the budget of a number of states right now. As of 2008, budget of Abia was 141 billion. David Okario say he hear the. I hope we will try to share the video. David, okay, that's why you should help us share the video. Just share with as many friends as possible. You can never tell how many people will be able to see it, and they will be able to learn from some of the things we'll be talking about and probably implement some of them. So I will appreciate if you can share with your friends, share with your colleagues, share with your ally, share to every friends you have on Facebook, and let's see how many of them eventually will be able to take this up. I strongly agree with you that if they can hear this and implement it, then there's no reason why we should have any state in Nigeria and a state is said to be non-viable. Why? Someone said to Fiakwa. To Fiakwa. How can you say a state in Nigeria is not viable? A state that have human being that have a brain between their 2 ears, and you are saying the state is not viable. How will that happen? Akwa Ibom, 651 billion. Anambra, 166 billion. Bauchi, 168 billion. Bayelsa, Benue. You know, when you look at some of these, I'm trying to, if you see the way these states intend to fund their budget, and I think I should get this one on IGR, the state IGR versus debt, because that will also give us an insight into what I'm going to discuss. I will be, what's the name? Referencing and giving credit, a lot of credit. And I mean a lot of credit to budget, because budget is going to make my life a lot easy, because most of the data I'm going to be working upon, I'm deriving from them. And our proposition, we have come up with a proposition with data on what they should do, but data on the debt profile, data on their budget, data on the issues they are currently having with paying salary, all that we're going to be getting from budget. You know, as at 2017, you know, what I will try to do is to look at, as I look at every state in Nigeria, I'm going to be looking at them from different dimensions. I'm going to be looking at their IGR as at the last check. Their IGR as at the last check. And I'll be not just looking at their IGR, I'll also be looking at the growth of their debt. Their debt. And the allocation they are getting from Abuja. You know, each time I just think about this, it just gets me worried about how a whole state will only depend on a source. That means if that source is cut off, the state will be in jeopardy. The fate of a whole state, will be in jeopardy if the source is cut off. If the source is cut off, I might be using some very old data, and I will just use them for the sake of just making us realize internal generated revenue, just making us realize the fact that Nigerian states are really not doing enough. Nigerian states are really not doing enough to be able to ensure that they are independent, they are self-sustaining, and they are able to do what they need to do, so that at the end of the day, these states can actually be able to independently fund their budget. And my proposal is very simple. My proposal is that Nigerian states need to begin to consider export. The fact that Nigerian state is looking up to Abuja for their revenue every time poses a concentration risk on the government. And this has recently crystallized on them when majority of them could not pay salary and owing salary for several months because they depend only on one source. You know, it's just like a business. You are doing a business and you have only one source of revenue. Depend on only one kind of training program, product or services, consultancy, only one source of revenue. I used to be a banker, and I know that a typical bank have maybe close to 100, source of revenue. From the SMS charge, to the management fee on loan, to LC charge, to B for collection charge, to guarantee charge, to standard of credit charge, to manager's check charge, to fixed deposit charge, to almost all sort of charges. All even the SMS they send you, they charge you. All sort of charges. Some have a special charge, account maintenance charge, COT charge. It's so many charges. And each of those charges is being charged from millions of customers. So you can imagine how much they are making. So you cannot, okay, thank you very much, Okario, for sharing. You cannot depend on just one source. It just does not make sense. It just does not make sense. To depend on only one source, it doesn't make sense. It's not going to work. It doesn't make sense. It's not going to work. You can't depend on only one source. And you know Nigerian state are depending on one source. Their IGR are not to write home about. The IGR are nothing to write home about. The IGR of Nigerian state is so horrible. It's so horrible because there are some of them, if not for payee, some of them, I don't even know if they will have any IGR, if not for payee. For some of Nigerian state, I'm not sure they will have any IGR, but for payee. But for payee, they will not have any IGR. But for payee, fine. But for payee, I don't know how some of them will survive. That means if they are now unable to pay salary, that means if they are now unable to pay salary, if they are now unable to pay salary, if they are now unable to pay salary, rather, there won't be payee. Because major states are civil servant states, majority of workers there work for the state. If the state is unable to pay salary, the state cannot get payee. If the state is unable to pay salary, the state cannot get payee. If the state cannot get payee, the state cannot survive. If Abuja cough, most states in Nigeria will catch cold. How will the destiny of a whole state depend on whether Abuja make money or Abuja does not make money? When the state is sitting on myriad of products, commodities that are exportable, why is it that the state are not taking advantage of this opportunity? There are much food in the tillage of the poor. In response to the problem of Nigerian states, some states are planning to diversify their economy and focus on other sort of generating revenue. But unfortunately, some of them seem to be focused on taxes and levies on the populace who are not even making enough themselves for their family. The aim of this program is therefore to demonstrate to Nigerian state how Nigerian state can effectively generate revenue directly from exporting farm produce, from exporting mineral resources and commodity. The objective of this program is to show Nigerian state how Nigerian state can generate revenue. How Nigerian state can generate revenue from different sources available to them through export program. And my proposal to Nigerian state is that Nigerian state need to set up an SPV. Nigerian state need to set up an SPV, a special purpose vehicle. Nigerian state need to set up an SPV, a special purpose vehicle that they are going to use to drive this process. Nigerian state need to set up an SPV, a special purpose vehicle that Nigerian state is going to use to drive this process. This SPV must be independent of the government. It should be run by private people who will give return to government from time to time on what they are generating from the state, who will give return to government from time to time on what they are generating from the state. And you know what? When I finish talking about the potential of the state, I will round up this program towards the end by talking on the structure the state should adopt, and how the state can actually, this transaction dynamics that the state can actually use to be able to make this work. And let me tell you, whatever I'm proposing is no-brainer. It's not unique, it's not ingenious. It's just something that Nigerian state have just decided to look away from, even though that is the structure upon which currently we are making money. That is the structure upon which currently we are making money through the joint venture we have with NNPC. The only difference this time around is just that I'm proposing something a little bit different. A little bit different in the way it's going to be structured and run. But basically taking a cue from what we already have. So I'm not inventing the wheel. I'm not reinventing the wheel. I'm just making us look closer at what we're already doing. And they're saying, look, if we have done this and it's working, why are we not looking at it again? Why has it become so difficult for us to be able to do what we currently do that is working? I really cannot understand. But I can understand. Because the people that are at the driver's seat of most states in Nigeria do not have the plan to help those states generate income. No. They have come to eat part of their own national cake. Majority. Probably not all, but probably majority of Nigerian governors. The good thing is that we have a new set of governors that have taken the saddle of responsibility and now in charge of the coffers of the state. My question is, are they there to really help the people? I guess some are, but I dare say that majority are not there to help the people. And how will we know? Let's wait now. Let's see what happened when they finish their tenure. And how many of them the FCC will be chasing up and down. Let's see what happened when they finish their tenure. And let's see how many people that EFCC will be chasing up and down. Then we'll know if indeed they have the interest of the people at heart, like some of them claim. All I know is that there are much food in the tillage of the poor. All I know is that there are much food in the tillage of the poor. And that all the poor need to do is to begin to look inward and begin to see how to take advantage of the opportunity that the environment provides. But I know that Nigerian states are billionaires in dollars. Nigerian states are billionaires in dollars. Don't tell me Nigerian state is not viable. Nigerian states are billionaires in dollars. Nigerian states have all it takes to survive. Nigerian states have only not taken advantage of it. If you look at today in Nigeria, do you know that more than 70% of Nigerian farmers are peasants? More than 70% of Nigerian farmers are peasants. Nigerian agricultural post-harvest losses has been put at 30 to 50% of the total farm produce yearly. Nigerian agricultural post-harvest losses has been put at 30 to 50% of the total farm produce yearly. And this is not my view. This is actually from the Food and Agriculture Organization. These are not my view. This is the view of the Food and Agricultural Organization, FAO. Most Nigerian farmers are peasants, number one. Number two, majority of our product perish as post-harvest losses, number two. That basically tells me that this is a disadvantage. And I also know that less than half of our arable land are currently being cultivated. Now, look at those three things I've told you. Number one, Nigerian farmers are mainly peasants. Number one. Nigerian farmers are mainly peasants. Number one. Number two, more than 70% are peasants. Most of our post-harvest losses, most of our products perish as post-harvest losses, and that has been put at about 30 to 50%. That means whatever data you are seeing in Nigeria is not a true reflection of our production. That means whatever data you are seeing in Nigeria is not a true reflection of our production. Less than half of our arable land has been cultivated, and that is very obvious. Just go around, just travel to different parts of Nigeria. Number one, you see vegetation. That does not happen in many countries. In many countries, you see bare land, desert. You see bare land, but that's not the case in Nigeria. In Nigeria, you don't see bare land. In Nigeria, you don't see bare land. In Nigeria, you see vegetation. And it's so interesting that most of this vegetation in Nigeria it's so interesting that most of the vegetation in Nigeria are growing wild. They are not even government reserve. They are growing wild. Nobody is controlling them. They are growing wild. Is it not interesting that most of them are growing wild? If you throw fruit on the ground in Nigeria, before you know it, the fruit will start growing. On its own account though, the fruit will start growing. And someone said that country is poor. That's not true. That's not true. Nigeria is not poor. We just have poverty of ideas by people that are ruling. By the time I'm done with different states in Nigeria, how much billions those states can generate, because I'm going to take each of the states one by one, from Abia down to Zamfara state. The potential of each of those states, both on the mineral side and both on the agri side. Potential of each of the states, both on the mineral side and both on the agri side. Don't tell me Nigerian states are not viable. I dare say categorically, Nigerian states are billionaires in dollars. Nigerian states are not just potential billionaires, they are billionaires in dollars. They have everything it takes to be billionaires in dollars. So the question is this: who have bewitched Nigerian state? Who have bewitched that Nigerian states are not viable? That a state governor will come out and say, we don't have money, we can't fund that project, we don't have money, and you have people there, and you have land there, and you have minerals there, and you have agri there, and you have commodities there, and you have so much in that state, and you are telling Nigerian states are not viable? I disagree completely. Nigerian states are very, very viable. Nigerian states only have very incompetent hands managing those economies. We only have incompetent hands managing those economies. And I'm hoping that this message will get to some of these state governors and even to some of our ministers to be eventually sworn in. So that at the end of the day, we will now know exactly if it's because there are no ideas or they are not ready to implement it. A state governor should leave the state writing his name in gold by creating means of generating revenue for his state. That should be the objective of the state governor. Not to come and eat the money, chop the money, clean out, and the FCC will be chasing them up and down. It's so unfortunate the Nigerian states are said to be non-viable. It's so unfortunate the Nigerian states that have mineral resources are said to be non-viable. It's just unfortunate. I have now accepted that. I don't believe that. I don't take that. I know they are viable. I know they just have bad managers. I know they just need people who can put on their thinking cap and begin to see what they can do to generate the state. When I'm talking about revenue generation, I'm not talking about going to, don't even go there. Don't even go there. Don't even go to the point of going to tax people. That's not the way to go. Taxing people is not the way to go. Generate those revenue, pay salaries, and then tax salaries. Not that you're not doing enough, and then you're taxing people, and people are becoming more and more impoverished just because the state government have refused to do what they have to do. Thank you very much for listening again this evening. We'll continue this weekend. I'm hoping I'll be able to do a session on Saturday and a session on Sunday. Morning on Saturday have been very challenging. Thank you very much for listening. My name is Dela Imbanis, Import Export Platform, Facebook Live for Treat Better Academy. Please remember to share this video with your friends, with your colleagues. Share until it gets to the governors, so that they will be able to do something about the plight of their state. Leveraging some of the thoughts we'll be sharing in this episode or this new series of Nigerian states are billionaires in dollars. Thank you very much for listening and have a good evening. Happy weekend.